Hello, happy new year. I am super excited for a lot of reasons. One, 2020 and 2021 low-key kind of sucked. So just glad to be in a new year. Hopefully this year is going to be amazing. So I wanted to kick off the year with the 2022 goal setting challenge. And this isn't like a challenge, like you're going to be competing against anybody. It's just a challenge because I wanted to call it a challenge because really when you're a business owner and you're like a solopreneur, you're challenging yourself constantly. Like this is a challenge between you, yourself, and your business. So, first of all, I wanted to say thank you to everyone for just being in this group. I started the NC Wedding Videographers group mainly because like I needed second shooters and I needed like assistants, and I knew that we needed a group like locally and regionally, and I have been in education, like wedding video business education, for a while. But I haven't actually posted like a ton of resources in the group. So I wanted to change that. And I was like, 2022 is the year to do this because we're getting back at it. So, I have put in the comments actually, let me see if I can put it in the comments right now. I cannot. Oh wait, yes I can. It's right here. So I'm going to put in the comments the link to download the workbook if you want it. It's in there now. It's also in like the event, the live event. It's in there as well. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for being in the group. And so anyway, I'm going to go through really quick, run through kind of what's in the workbook and my philosophy on goal setting. So first, what is goal setting? So I have some notes down here, so that's why I'm looking. So basically goal setting is like the process of thinking about what you're capable of and what your business is going to be capable of in the new year. And I want you to keep in mind too that like you own your business. Your business doesn't own you. You own your business. You are in control of your business. You're in control of the goals you want to set in your business. You're in control of the kind of money you want to make. Like you are in control of your business, not vice versa. So when you're setting your goals, I want you to keep that in mind. Like you are in control of the goals that you want to set. You're also in control of saying, you know what, that goal didn't work out for me, or that's not my goal anymore. Or maybe I'm not going to hit this goal by the year end. I want to reevaluate my timeline on this goal. Like you own your business. You own these goals. Having goals in your business is great, but if you set a goal and you're like, that wasn't realistic, or that's not my goal anymore, or I don't want to do that anymore, that you have every prerogative to be like, nope, I'm going to reset my goals. I'm going to reevaluate my goals. I want to do something different with my goals. It's your business. These are your goals. You have every prerogative to do that. It does not make you a failure if you don't hit a goal. It doesn't make you a failure if you set a goal that's like kind of crazy and you don't reach it. Like that's fine. These are your goals. You own them. They don't mean anything about you, but having these goals can give you some direction as you're looking at your business in the new year. So I just wanted to put that caveat out there. Your goals don't define you. You own them. You own this business. They're your goals. So another thing too is Bill Gates has a quote that says we usually overestimate what we can do in a month and we underestimate what we can do in a year. And I think his direct quote was we underestimate what we can do in a year, or overestimate, and then we underestimate what we can do in 10 years. So when you're looking at your month, don't try to overload your month. When you're setting like monthly goals, or you're just looking at like this week or this month or this quarter, a lot of times we're like, okay, I can build an entire business. I can build an empire in a month, in a week. And you really can't. Things take time. So you're going to set a big yearly goal. And then every month you're going to make sure that your little goals are working towards your bigger yearly goal. So in the workbook that I've linked in the comments, the first thing you're going to start filling out is your year in review. So for 2021, you're going to look at what worked and what didn't work. Because for me in 2021, what didn't work personally was having like a crazy travel schedule. Like I literally flew once or twice a week for almost 16 weeks in a row. And that was crazy. That was between like weddings and corporate clients. That did not work for me. That is something I am leaving behind. I'm not bringing it into 2022. And then also what worked for you in 2021. So something that worked for me was partnering up with like photographers and kind of branching out into doing a little bit of corporate work to offset weddings because they were still shut down from the pandemic. So that's something that worked for me. That's something I want to bring into 2022. So that's the first page of the worksheet. What worked for you last year? What didn't work for you last year? What do you want to bring into the new year? And what do you want to leave behind in 2021? Because again, you own this business. You have every right and every opportunity to make this business work for you. So then you're going to go to the next page on the worksheet, and it's talking about your bigger goals. And their first goal that I want you to think about is your lifestyle goal. And a lot of people are like, okay, why are we talking about a lifestyle? This is my business. Like, shouldn't I be doing business goals? And yeah, you could if you were working in a business, but in this instance, you're probably a solopreneur. You are probably running your wedding video business all by yourself and there's no one else. Like, you don't have a team. You're probably not going to have employees. Some of you do in this group, and that's like super cool, but most of us don't. So I want to be realistic about the fact that you own a business and you get to build the lifestyle that you want. So if you have a lifestyle goal that is like, I want to travel all the time and I want my work to be very like passive income. I don't want to be actively working in my business all the time. Or I just want the lifestyle of leisure where I get to choose when I want to work and when I don't want to work. Having a lifestyle goal is going to help you set up your business to give you that. So that's why I want you thinking about your lifestyle goals. Next, I want you thinking about your money goals. So like, how much money do you want to make this year? This can be a big number. It could be a small number. You could be like, well, I at least need to be making like $5,000 a month. Or you can say, I want to break 6 figures this year. I want you to set a money goal. And I want that money goal to be something that's realistic, but also something that scares you a little bit. Because what's the point of setting a goal if it's not going to push you just a little bit? And again, you're not a failure if you don't hit it. But it's nice to have a big goal to look forward to and know, like, this is possible. I can make however much money I want to make in my business. So I'm going to set a goal and I'm going to go for it. And then lastly, I want you to set a business goal. And this business goal can be anything from like, I want my business to give me the lifestyle I want. I want my business to give me the money I want. I want my business to fulfill me in like this creative outlet, or I want my business to be a place that like my clients feel really happy and I'm giving them a great client experience. Maybe last year you realized I could work on my communication. So a business goal for this year could be, I want to have better communication with my clients, or I want to get more organized. Like, whatever you want that business goal to be, go ahead and set it. And then I want you to think about why. Why am I setting this lifestyle goal, this money goal, and this business goal? Am I setting a lifestyle goal because like I see people on Instagram and it looks like really luxurious to live this life? Like, is that why I want that? And then do I actually want that for myself? Like, why is that my goal? Same thing with the money. Why do you need that money? Why is that your money goal? Same thing with your business goal. Why is that a goal in your business? Is that going to help your business grow? Is it going to be fulfilling for you? Why are you setting these goals? And when you get into the why, you might start to realize, wow, all these goals that I've been thinking about aren't actually my goals. They're just goals that I've heard people say I needed to have online, and I actually didn't really know why I was setting these goals. So I want you to take a step back. Like, you personally try to block out everyone's opinion and all the things you've learned, and you need to unlearn them. Think about why, and think about why you're setting these goals for yourself personally. So the next page on the worksheet is going to be, how will you accomplish that lifestyle goal, that money goal, and that business goal? So this is a little bit more concrete. So when you're thinking about, well, I want a lifestyle goal that I only have to work when I want to work, and I don't want to work when I don't want to work. So how are you going to accomplish that? For me, this was a big goal for me last year. So I personally was like, I'm going to bring on a virtual assistant team. And I'm going to delegate tasks. That was my how. I'm going to delegate tasks to somebody else to do them, because I know I have to film on the weekends and I have to film during the week for my corporate clients. So I have this time that I can't control, but I have all this other time where I'm editing and I have all this admin time and I have like so many things I need to do, but I want time back in my life. So my how was bringing on help. So that's an example of how you're going to achieve these certain goals. Same thing with your money goals. How are you going to achieve your money goals? Well, maybe you need to up your marketing a little bit. Maybe you need to identify a new target market. Maybe you want to raise your prices in your business. Maybe you want to set a goal of like, okay, I need to do at least 2 weddings a month or 24 a year to make this goal. Or I only want to do 1 wedding a month, which means I have to charge this much. That's how you can start thinking about how you're going to make your money goals work for you. Same thing for your business goals. If you want to have better communication, how are you going to do that? Are you going to get a CRM? Do you want to set up like a really intricate email funnel? Do you want to have like 1 day a week where you really deep dive into communicating with your clients and like going through your email, making sure everyone has what they need? That's going to be your how. And then that's pretty much what you're going to do to set your goals for the year. And then as a little bonus, I threw in 2 mindset units. So one of the mindset units is going to be about fear and one of them is going to be about confidence, because these are the 2 things that are really going to determine how much success you're going to have in your business. So after you've set your goals and you know your why and you've determined how you're going to accomplish them, you have your goals, you have basically what you're going to work on each week. When you're figuring out your to-do list, you're going to make sure it's aligning with those goals. And then at the end of the worksheet, we're going to move on to your mindset about fear. So something that I've realized is people are afraid of their goals. And if you're not like a little bit afraid of your goal's not big enough. So your goal should scare you a little bit or be like, whoa, I don't know if I can do that. That's what your big yearly goal should feel like, just a little bit. And again, you're not a failure if you don't hit it. Your business is still going to be a success because you're working towards this ideal and this scary goal, and that's an accomplishment in and of itself. Just having the bravery to set a goal that scares you is huge. So you're going to think about, why am I afraid of this goal? Then you're going to think about, okay, what's the worst case scenario if I don't hit my goal or if all of this falls apart? And for a lot of us, this is where our brain stops. So let's say my goal this year is to make 6 figures in my business. I want to pay myself 6 figures, which means my business probably needs to make $200,000 if I'm going to pay myself $100,000. And I'm sitting there like, can I make $200,000 in my business this year? Let me think about it. That's a little scary. That would be like the most money I've ever made in a year. Like, can my business make that much money? And then I'm like, what's the worst case scenario? My entire business falls apart. I don't make any money. I'm living on the streets. I'm in a box. My dogs don't have any food. My husband's gonna leave me, yada, yada. Like the worst case scenario. And then our brains are like, no, this goal is too scary. But like, do you see how ridiculous that worst case scenario was? Because I set a goal to make a lot of money in my business this year. And then my brain is like, you can't do that. And it's going to be terrible, and you're going to make no money, and you're going to lose your house, you're going to lose your cars, you're going to lose your dogs. Like, that's not going to happen. But for a lot of us, our brains just run wild, and then we stop at this worst case scenario where we're just like, everything's going to fall apart. But if you're working towards a goal that kind of scares you, it's not going to fall apart, right? You're going to work towards that goal. And so maybe I only make $100,000 in my year, and I can only pay myself like $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. That's still a success. Like, that's a successful year for me, right? I didn't fail because I didn't hit my $200,000 like audacious goal, but I pushed myself to try to make as much money as I could. So I ended up making more in my business. That's exactly what I did in 2021. I had a goal that scared me and I didn't hit it, but I got a lot closer than I would have if I hadn't have set that goal in the first place. So what's the worst case scenario that can happen if you don't hit your goal? A lot of our minds just run wild. But also, how are you going to overcome that worst case scenario? So here's my thought process last year when I was setting a financial goal that kind of scared me. I was like, what happens if I don't hit this goal? What happens if I don't hit 6 figures? And I was like, if I don't hit 6 figures, the realistic worst case scenario is that I don't have $10,000 a month of expendable income. That was the worst case scenario. And I was like, how can I overcome that? Well, I'm going to overcome that by knowing my basic like living expenses. And then also, if for some reason my whole business falls apart, I can just go get a job and keep everything and maintain my same lifestyle. That was like the worst case scenario for me. And that was the solution, was just getting a job. I'd had a job before. I quit my job in 2019. I was working full time until then. Like, that is not a scary outcome. So knowing too that like the way you're going to overcome that worst case scenario is not that scary and it's not that bad. And then I'm going to ask myself, like, is my goal still scary? Am I still afraid of my goals? Am I still afraid of failure? And I'm not. Because if I fail, if everything crashes and burns, for me, the worst case scenario was I just had to go get a job, a part-time job. I could go nanny. I could get a full-time job. Like, that was the worst case scenario for me. And I don't have to keep that job forever. But if I need money to make ends meet for some reason and my business has completely failed me, my worst case scenario is I get a job for a short time. And that is not that scary. So I'm going to set those crazy goals. And then the second worksheet you're going to work on is like your confidence. So do you believe that you can hit your goals? And for a lot of us, we're like, no, I can't hit that goal. That's crazy. Like, I don't know anyone personally who's hit their goals like that. No one in my family is an entrepreneur or understands what I'm doing. And like, I don't have their support, yada, yada. We're going to start thinking about like, if I fail, it's going to be really embarrassing. So do you believe you can hit your goals? Why or why not? But then also, is that voice in your head even yours? Like, the voice in your head that's like, you can't hit that goal, that's crazy. Is that your voice? Or is that the voice of like a parent who told you one day like, hey, you should probably just get a job because like that's the safe option? Or someone who's like, you can't make 6 figures being a wedding videographer, that's crazy. Not a lot of people do that. Is that your voice? No, those are other people's voices. People who have told you over time, like, this is what you have to do. This is how you have to live your life. This is the way the business world works. People don't make that kind of money in this industry. Women, girls don't make that kind of money for themselves. People who come from not a lot of money can't go make a lot of money. Those are all other people's voices and things that like society has conditioned us into. And things too that like people who really love you and care about you and want you to be safe may have said to you. Like, there was a time when my parents were like, hey, you can do all this like entrepreneur stuff, but you should probably like get a job too, just to be safe. Because they didn't want me living on the streets. They wanted me to be successful. So are the voices in your heads that are telling you, yes, you can or you can't achieve these goals, are they real? And are those your voices or are those other voices? From either people who love you and really care about you and mean well, and they mean the best in the world for you, but is that voice giving you the confidence to do what you want to do? So in the confidence section, again, you're going to write down, do you believe you can hit your goals? Why or why not? Are the voices in your head yours? And then lastly, you're going to write down 3 reasons that you can hit your goals. And this is going to be like your hypeception. You're going to get a little like woo-woo here. And some people don't like this kind of work. So if you don't like it, don't do it. Like, it's your business. You can do whatever you want. But writing down 3 reasons you can accomplish your goals is really important for your self-confidence and sometimes even your self-image. So what you're going to do is you're going to write down like, I can hit my goals because I'm responsible and diligent to put in the work every single week. I can hit my goals because I believe I can, and no one else's voice matters in my head. I believe I can hit my goals because I'm smart and I can figure out anything I need to figure out. Write them down, like say them to yourself and give yourself the pep talk you need to make 2022 a great year. I think I just said 2022 a great year. So anyway, that is everything I have to say about goal setting for today. And I hope that you can download the workbook and it can be super encouraging to you. So the workbook is linked through MailerLite. So if you see an email, you have to put in your email. So when you see the email form like It's not a scam. That's how you get the downloadable. When you put it in, you're going to get the link that's like, hey, download the workbook here. And the reason I want your emails is so that we can stay accountable. So monthly, I'm going to send you a little encouraging email. And then I want to hear from you too around March. So I want you to give this a couple months, work on your goals. And around March, I want to revisit your goals, because that might be the time where you're like, okay, I set these goals and now I know, like, I've been working towards them and I know something has to get adjusted. Like maybe I need to adjust my workflow or something else, but I want to check in with you in March and make sure that you don't have any questions, that you're satisfied with your goals, and that you're feeling confident and that you're overcoming those fears. So I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.